Hello and welcome to another English class. You can barely see me, but that's not a bad thing. So, today we're going to look at something which actually could be a class for native English speakers because a lot of them make this mistake. And it infuriates me as an English teacher, obviously, because I'm very sensitive to those kinds of things. But it's easy to understand why people make the mistake because so many people make it that you hear it and it sounds okay because you've heard it so often. And that's the case with language or words. When you hear it so much, it's like, well, yeah, I know that exists. It's right. Anyway, let's look at I or me. Which one is correct? Okay. It sounds ridiculous, but we are doing this. So let's look at subject pronouns, okay? Those subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, you, plural, and they. These are the plurals, we, you, they, and these are the singulars, I to it. Now, we use subject pronouns in active sentences before the verb. For example, I went to the shop. So who did the action? Remember, these are active sentences, not passive. Obviously, the same rule applies with passive, but the object of the active sentence becomes the subject of the passive sentence. But we still use the subject pronoun, even though it's a passive sentence. But we're only going to focus on active sentences because I want to make this as easy as possible. I went to the shop. So here we have I, that's the subject pronoun. Went is the verb. To is a preposition. And the shop is the object or place. It's both. She likes him. Now, she is the subject pronoun. She does the verb she likes. Likes is the verb, and him is the object pronoun. Okay? It looks like it, subject pronoun. Looks is the verb. Like is the preposition, and them is the object pronoun. Okay? Remember, the subject does the verb. Well, you know what I mean. We drove her there. We, that's the subject pronoun. Drove is the verb. Her and there, they're both objects. One is an object, well, actually, they're both object pronouns. Anyway, one is direct and one is indirect. This is called a detransitive verb. And when I was doing this, preparing this board, I thought, have I done a detransitive verb video? And I'm going to check. And if I haven't, then that'll be the next one, I hope, because I need to do a detransitive verb video. Transitive verbs take an object. Intransitive verbs don't take an object, and detransitive verbs take two objects, can take two objects. In this case, her and their. Okay? It's like saying, I cooked the children dinner. Now, I cooked the children. That's terrible. That's a bad thing. That means you've only got one object, and that means you cooked the children, which is obviously completely ridiculous and wrong. Obviously, it's wrong. But I cooked the children dinner. That's how we say it in English. You can change that and say I cooked dinner for the children. You can use a preposition and swap the the objects. One is direct. That's the dinner is direct, and the children is indirect in this context. Let me just check, is that right? I cooked the children, I cooked dinner for the children. Yes. Children is the indirect object and dinner is the direct object. They thanked us. They is the subject pronoun, thanked is the verb, and us is the object pronoun. Okay. By the way, I'm going to do, I don't know if I've already done a video on, oh, obviously not. Never mind. I was just gonna say what's that rule with that? Oh yeah, it's detransitive verbs. So I'm gonna do that video because it's obviously something I really want to do. Wow. So okay, back to this. Right. There you go. So that's a subject pronoun. Okay, it comes before the verb in an active sentence. And the object pronoun comes after the verb. You don't have to have an object pronoun. It's not always necessary. You can say, I got up at 6 o'clock. There's no object in that sentence, okay? Subject pronoun I, got up is the verb, and at is the preposition. 6 o'clock is a time. There's no object in that sentence at all. But if you have an object, by the way, it goes before the time, okay? Right, I'm getting distracted. Now the object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Again, me, you, him, her, it, singular, and us, you, them, plural, okay? So we is the subject pronoun, us is the object pronoun, okay? you and you, you'll notice that you and you, singular and plural, are the same, as well as it is also the same. Okay? So that's your subject pronouns, that's your object pronouns, okay? Again, some more examples. The dog, that's the subject pronoun. Loves, that's the verb. Us is the object pronoun, okay? Her cat, subject pronoun. Chased, the verb. Them, the object pronoun. It picked them up. Now, this is a phrasal verb, picked up, in this context. Now, when you have, I've done this video before, but when you have a phrasal verb with an object pronoun, the object pronoun has to go inside. You can't say it picked up them, okay? So if you have an object pronoun in a phrasal verb, it has to go inside, can't go after. Of course, if it were my sister, then you could say it picked my sister up, or it picked up my sister. That's okay because my sister is not an object pronoun, it's just an object. She is just an object. Well, that sounds worse. Okay, she bought it for me. Okay. Again, two object pronouns here. She, that's the subject pronoun. Bought, that's the verb. It, that's an object pronoun. For, that's a preposition. And me, that's an object pronoun too. Because bought is, as I said earlier, a detransitive verb. It takes two objects. Can take two objects. We threw them out. It's the subject pronoun, the verb, the object pronoun, and the preposition. Okay? Right, okay, so I was just distracted by something over there. Now, let's look at how this is used correctly and incorrectly, the object and subject pronouns, subject and object pronouns. My brother and I, now you've got two subjects, my brother and I, went to the shop. Correct, okay? My brother and I, subject pronoun. My brother and I went to the shop. Me and my brother went to the shop. A lot of people will say it like that. But me, that's an object pronoun. So that can't go before the verb. Ridiculous. Now, how do you know if it's ridiculous or not? Here's the easy way to do it. Take out my brother or my sister or George or Sally. Take that out and say the sentence. Me went to the shop. Are you kidding me? Me went to the shop? I don't think so. So that's how you know it's wrong and ridiculous, because you can't say me went to the shop. Me like food, you know? You don't put the object pronoun before the verb. It's ridiculous. Okay, so that's why that's correct, because you could say I went to the shop, my brother and I went to the shop, but me and my brother went to the shop. Me went to the shop? No, ridiculous. Again, she and I like him. Correct, because she and I are subject pronouns. Like him. Me and her like him. People will say that, you know, me and her like him. Oh, me and her like him. Take out the other one. You've got two here. Me like him, her like him. Ridiculous. So that's how you know this is wrong. This one. He and his brother grew up in Spain. Correct. He and his brother grew up in Spain. Correct. His brother and him grew up in Spain. Wrong. Because if you take out his brother, him grew up in Spain. Him ridiculous. So there you go. That's how you know. Okay. And here's I thought of these late last night when I was yawning away. She's no different to you or me. Correct. Because this is the object of the sentence. She's no different, this is the subject, to you or me. She's no different to you or I. Wrong. Because if you take this out, oh, I shouldn't do this because I'm going to take a photograph of this board. Alright, never mind. She's no different to I. Ridiculous. So, she's taller than me. Now, now this is interesting because I've heard people say that you can say she's taller than I, but you can't. She's taller than me, okay, or she's taller than I am. You can use the subject pronoun here as long as you use the auxiliary verb. She's taller than I am. She can jump higher than I can. She knows more than I do. She would do more than I would, you know? So, fine. But you can't have it without the auxiliary verb there. If you do, you have to use the object pronoun. She's taller than me, or she's taller than I am. I'm taller than him, I'm taller than he is. Okay? Well, there you go. Quite simple, but very, very important. And if you are a British person watching this video, which would be strange, you know what I'm talking about. People do speak in the wrong way quite often. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, hit like, share this with anyone you know who's learning English, and leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video, hopefully quite soon. Until then, have a lovely day. Bye bye.